do this. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to another podcast episode, knitting podcast episode. I've forgotten which episode number it is. It's 16. So I'm just really happy that we've gone so far. I remember that when I finished episode 10, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in double digits finally, and I'm so excited to continue. And then I disappeared for 3 months, but I'm back again, and I'm really happy to be this consistent with the podcast. And as a result of that, we hit 1,000 subscribers. Woo! Okay, so I'm just really thankful for everyone who has continued to watch despite all of like the inconsistent uploading. I'm very happy to read all of your comments. They're very encouraging, and I'm just very happy that so many of you all are watching. But that aside, oh no, I forgot the first thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, I have to go and get it. Okay, so I could not find it, but I think I took like a picture of it before, so I'll try and like insert it here, and if I do actually find it, I'll put the actual picture of it up there, like a good one. But yeah, I made something from this book that I bought in Japan. I'd spoken about this, I think, 2 episodes ago. It's Sumikko Gurashi no Kantan Maho no Tawashi. So basically, this is just a book filled with crochet projects which you can then use for cleaning purposes. So yeah, you have like, for instance, these slippers that function as like, how would you call that? Like mops or like dust catchers, as well as slippers. And then you also have like these, those Swiffer thingies, like the cloth that you put around it. And I actually made one of these. At least I attempted to. I didn't really finish it, but I'll come to that later as to why I didn't do that. I can't really show the pattern. Wait, I'll just show the picture. Here it is. It's this one. So it's, what's it called? Shirokuma Furoshiki. So Furoshiki, I believe, is the name of this character. It's like this thing called Sumikko Gurashi. It's just like a bunch of cute looking characters that all these crochet projects are based on. So I tried to make this one, and I believe it was just something that you use in the kitchen to like dry like plates, or like I think it's actually a scrubber. It's a scrubber actually. So yeah, I couldn't get a hold of the recommended yarn before I left Japan. Actually, I could, but it was just like I bought so much yarn, so I figured I shouldn't buy even more. So I basically just bought like the equivalent here, like the closest thing that I could find, and I used this yarn from I think I do have the yarn though. Okay, so this is the yarn that I used. It's yarn from, I believe, this Dutch company called Scheepjes. I'm pretty sure it's Dutch, because also the names of these yarns are like Dutch cities. So yeah, this is Scheepjes Color Crafter, and it's 100% premium acrylic. I don't really know what the difference is between 100% acrylic and premium acrylic. I don't know, I guess it's higher quality or something, but I don't know, it feels kind of different from all the acrylic yarns that I've worked with previously. But yes, this is the color Almelo, which is a place in the Netherlands, and this one is Sittard. I said that so British. Sittard. So yeah, I made the scrubber, and I definitely made mistakes. I'm still like, I think I said this before, I'm still like trying to get used to crocheting like actually doing the crochet correctly. I'm still learning. Basically, I'm still learning how to crochet. And for the most part, when it comes to like crocheting squares or garments, I'm pretty alright. But when it actually comes to making like 3D or like, I don't know, like amigurumi type stuff, that's when things get a bit harder for me. So I'm like, when I finished, basically what I did is I actually only did the green part and I did the pink part, and then I looked at it and I was like, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. So I gave up at that point. So, but I had learned enough to know like which types of mistakes I was making, and for the most part it was also just like not concentrating because I was watching the newest One Piece TV series on Netflix, and I was trying to do this. So that's also like would highly not recommend you to try and learn crochet whilst you're also watching a TV show. So yeah, I'm going to try and redo this and then actually like finish it off. But I don't know when that will be, because right now I'm really just focused on knitting for the most part. And when it comes to crochet, I think I'm feeling like that brown shorts, the crochet pants that I've been working on for months at this point, they actually really need to get finished. Also, it's still really warm here in the Netherlands. I don't know how warm, but it does feel like 28-30 degrees. Like, I don't know if you can see, but I'm kind of sweaty here in my apartment. So I feel like, okay, I still have a shot at wearing these shorts, so I might as well just try and finish them. Also, I was like editing a couple of like previous episodes, and I remember myself when I like introduced these shorts, I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing like one square per day, and so I should be finished by the end of the week. And that was like 1.5 months ago, or even 2 months ago. So I was like, oof, okay, I really need to like finish the shorts. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's everything when it comes to like all this stuff here. Then moving on, I actually wanted to do like an update from the autumn video that I uploaded a couple of days ago. Basically, the video was about me explaining what my autumn plans were for knitting, and yeah, so basically there has been a change. So I spoke about this one neck warmer by the designer Alexandra Sovovianiuk. It was her Juzia neck warmer that I wanted to do, and I spoke about choosing a darker color, like a darker green, because I kind of like wanted it to fit with the darker green stuff that I've been making in recent times. But then also I was kind of like getting confused, because I remember having kind of like that discussion of, should I take like pastel washed out colors or something like really dark and solid. And I thought that I had chosen something light green, but then when I was filming it, I was like, oh, I chose dark green, so I guess I decided to do the other thing. But then I went to look on my email, and I saw that I actually bought the light the light yarn. And so I contacted them and I sent them a picture. I was a bit afraid about whether or not I could return the yarn, because I had already like rolled it up. But they were really nice, and they were like, yeah, it's our fault, we'll just send it. And yeah, so I figured, now I have like a dark and a light green version. So this color is actually not like Groen or Daus green. It's actually Flessengroen, bottle green. And I think the color number was 606. So that's a tiny update on that. And yeah, the next thing that I wanted to talk about was like finishing off projects. I was checking the last podcast episode that I made, and I'm pretty sure I spoke about like fixing up my sweater, the frill yoke sweater, and then being kind of lazy and just doing like the regular bind off, like the kind of like, I don't know if you call it like basic, but like the first kind of like easy bind off that you learn to do when it comes to binding off things. I don't know what the name is, but I just did that, and there was like absolutely no stretch, and it felt really uncomfortable. And I spoke about like fixing stuff that I kind of like, I was kind of like fixing like knitted things where I was kind of lackluster towards the end, or like unmotivated to go the extra mile and make something that actually like feels comfortable. Because it's kind of like interesting, at least when it comes to, well, I think it's interesting the way I sometimes think about these things. Basically, I get really excited when I'm making a project, and sometimes I'll have like a lot of like spurts of motivation, but then I get to like, I don't know, the last maybe 5 rows, and it just feels like such a drag, and I just want to get over with it, and I start making like mistakes, or I take kind of like the easy way out, and often it just like ends up biting me in the ass. And so that kind of like happened with these shorts that I made in Japan. So basically, I don't think I spoke about these ones last time. I at least didn't show them. Basically, the sides, I just used like the regular bind off for 2x2. So I knit the knits and I purled the pearls, and there was no stretch. And so yeah, it was really hard getting the shorts over my hips, but then it sat quite well on my waist. But like, it was so annoying in the end, because due to the lack of stretch, it would be such a hassle, like going to, for instance, the bathroom, or just putting it on and taking it off whenever. So I ended up untying it, and there was also like some weird like place on the ribbing that kind of looked weird. So I ended up fixing all of that, and now like I've really been more like excited to wear these. But now I have found out, basically I used the I redid it, right? So I fixed the weird hole that was at the top of the ribbing, and then also I did a new like bind off, and I used the one in Very Pink Knits video. I think it was like this very like stretchy bind off was like the title, something like that. I'll leave a link in the description box below. But now I'm experiencing that it's too loose. Like it literally falls off my hips. So yeah, that's not great either. So I am going to try and fix this with elastic thread. I have not tried that before, but I have bought it at some point, so it's in my like knitting box. So I'm going to try and do that, and then once that is done, I will report back. Then I think for the most part I'm just going to be talking about socks, because that's basically what I've been doing for the most part. I have a feeling that I did quite a lot of knitting in the past week, because it's been like a week since I filmed a podcast episode, but apparently it was like not that much. I was like, I feel like I'm missing something, and maybe I might be missing something, but in any case, if I happen to find out what that is, I'll just discuss it in the next episode. But yeah, I finally washed this pair of socks. I don't know exactly what I was waiting for. Oh yeah, I was waiting for like soap to come in, because I bought like quite a lot of sock yarn from Opal, which you'll probably be seeing throughout the year, I feel like, because I bought quite a lot. But yeah, I also got some sample yarn soap. So I got this yarn soap called Soak, and they had different scents. So this one's called Celebration. This one is called Pineapple Grove. This one's called Lacy. And then this one is called Fig. So I also bought one that had like yuzu scent. So basically what they tell you to do, this is just 5 milliliters. No, 5 milliliters. 5 milliliters of soap. So basically 1 teaspoon. And so you put this in, I don't know, your bowl of water. It says a gallon, which is, I looked up, 3.7 liters. And then what they say is you soak for 15 minutes, gently squeeze, no need to rinse. And yeah, so I just kind of like laid it out flat afterwards. I washed basically all my knitted socks. Yeah, I was interested seeing which one would be the best, or if I even liked it. And yeah, I think the experience was okay, I guess. At first, when I put in the soap and I smelled the fabric, it smelled like yuzu, but then basically after I think I put like 5 or 6 pairs of socks in there, and then yeah, after it was dried, yeah, like I could barely smell it. I don't think I even smell it. Maybe it's just like all in my mind, but there's like no scent. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still going to try the other ones. Maybe I'll try and do it with a bit less of like less knits next time to see if there's anything different. But yeah, I feel now finally comfortable to show you these socks that I knit in Japan. I use these heavily in Japan, and so what happened, yeah, so basically in Japan I was like walking like, I don't know, anywhere between like 10 to 20 kilometers per day on just like regular shoes. And I don't know, some coloring that was on the inside of my shoe like rubbed off onto my socks. But yeah, I'm having a hard time getting that out. I actually put this in the washing machine first, and then I hand washed it, and most of it went out. There's just like a tiny like yellowish brownish hue from like the inside leather, or like the inside fabric from the shoe. I don't know. But yeah, this is how they look. These maybe I should give some specifications. So this is yarn that I bought in Japan from Opal, but this is Japan exclusive. This is sorry, I don't know why I said that, but it's like Opal KFS. I've spoken about that, like, I don't know how you'd call it, like collab or something. Yeah, so this is yarn that you can only buy in Japan. It's so Opal KFS, the name is Mori, which means forest, and the number is KFS 108. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. So the line of the KFS thing is Kesenima. Oh, I'm messing this up a bit, but yeah, the composition is, it's 75% superwash wool and then 25% nylon. So basically the construction is pretty straightforward, just a couple of rows of rib, then just the leg is just stockinette. Then I did like a heel flap, which was like slip knit, etc, etc, and then the other side was just purling, then heel turn, picking up the stitches, then knitting the gusset, and then just casting off, well, not casting off, doing like a stockinette stitch? Yeah, stockinette stitch. No, a Kitchener stitch at the end, And yeah, I'm just very happy with these socks. I think they look really nice with the clothes that I wear. I usually have like brown, darkish colors, like brown, blue, and green are the foremost colors that I have when it comes to clothes, I think. So this naturally fits quite well. So yeah, that's this sock. Then actually this morning I finished another pair of socks. Again with the same, like with socks from Opal, the KFS line. These are specifically Opal KFS original yarn in the color Lila, and the code is KFS 110, and basically the same specification, 75% superwash wool and 25% nylon. I also forgot to mention the yardage, I believe, and that is 425 meters per 100 grams. And I forgot to mention also the needle size. I used 2.25 milliliter. Now I'm saying milliliter. 2.25 millimeter needles. Those were actually the Addy ones that I complained about like last time, or the episode before, the one that have like, I don't know, have like gone all weird. But yeah, I'm still actually using it because I actually broke, I don't know what happened, but I broke 2 sets of needles recently, which really sucks because they were pretty expensive. I paid 10 euros for each and they both just like broke off. So I yeah, basically, yeah, these are the needles. So I bought from Knit Pro 2.25 millimeter needles, circular needles, and basically what happened was that they weren't like the ones that you could like adjust. They're just like standard fixed length, 60 centimeters. But basically what happened was like it looked like the wood had like already gone partially out of the socket, and so there was this maybe I can even show it. I think I can show it. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it all that well, but like part of it was kind of like out of the socket. So I tried to push it back like this, right? Oh, it went in. It actually went in. Because my stitches were like getting stuck on that part. But when I was trying to put it back in, this part broke. So that kind of sucked. And then the other ones are from Lana Grossa. These were actually the ones that I bought right before I went to Japan, so that I could knit in the airplane. These were 3 millimeter needles, and yeah, both of them are, I believe, bamboo, like wooden needles. And yeah, those, it was really weird. I had it in my bag, my project that I was knitting with it, and then I picked up the bag and it just snapped. And I think that was just mainly my fault for not like really being very careful with these knitting needles. I mean, they're wood, they can snap easily. I should have known that. So I think that second one was on me. It just kind of sucked that for the purple one, that one already, like, it was kind of like already like breaking, or yeah, it was just not good. Basically. So yeah, that kind of sucks. But yeah, as I was saying, I knit these needles on the 2.25 ones from Adi, which are, I think, like stainless steel or something like that. But yeah, I did do something different from what I usually do. Or usually I just use like I think it's like you call it a French heel, so the heel flap and then the heel turn. And sometimes I'll mix up like the knit stitch on like the back, on the heel flap. But this one I just did like German short rows. I've done German short rows before, but I did them with toe up socks, and I ended up not getting the length right for my foot, and it turned out to be way too long for me. I had a similar issue with these ones. These ones I actually knit cuff down, but what happened was that basically what I did when I was like measuring it, which is actually not a good way of measuring, I took like one of my all the socks in the same yarn, the same needle size, and I kind of like matched it up like this when I was knitting, just to know how far I should get. But as you can see, if I like see it's like lined up, the purple is the purple sock is a bit longer than the green one. And so I was kind of like, okay, what's happening? Because basically what I did was I just kind of like stopped at where the green one stopped, or at least I used another pair of socks. I stopped where I started making, like working on the I started the toe the same place I did on another sock, and it was way too tight. I have a picture of it actually here, and so as you can see, like the place where your like heel's supposed to be, it was completely off. And so I was kind of like wondering why that was, because I was like, okay, well, the length of my foot hasn't changed, like what's going on? And I've just been watching a lot of videos on socks, and I've been going through some of the sections in books that I have, and basically I think the conclusion is just that the construction of this sock, there's less like I don't know how you'd say it, like summit of the heel, like the middle of the heel and like the top of the instep. I'm not using like these terms correctly, but like this space is smaller than if you were to do it with like a heel flap. And so what happens is that the fabric gets stretched out, and when fabric stretches, it like goes down in length. And so that's why I needed more length on the foot than I needed when I was making like these type of socks. So that's something new. But yeah, I basically I finished the sock, right? So at least one, and then I was like, okay, this kind of sucks. I'm not gonna like compromise on the finishing of this sock. So I basically just cut the purple stuff, because I'd sewn in the ends as well. So anyway, I cut off the purple stuff, and then most like just the tip here, and then I redid the sock. I think I added like this much of the fabric, and then it fit perfectly, and now they fit perfectly, so it's fine. So yeah, I'm very happy with these socks. Yeah. Then moving on to another pair of socks. These ones, I don't know if I spoke about these, but I'm just gonna start from the start. This is Opal yarn, again sock yarn. This is their, I'm pretty sure I spoke about these, their Van Gogh or Van Gogh series. And yeah, this one is kind of like based on the painting, the I can't speak French that well. Tricouteille. tricotije bridge or brug. Basically, yeah, here's the painting. And so, yeah, Opal just has a line that is based off of some of Van Gogh's paintings. And yeah, so what I did was I didn't use my regular sock, my regular sock thingy recipe for this sock, the one that I use on with Opal yarn, because basically if it's like the same like 4-ply that the like because basically this is like their regular 4-ply 425 meters per 100 grams yarn. So basically if you find a regular like one sock recipe, you can use them on all their yarns, at least the 4-ply ones, right? So I didn't use that recipe because I wanted to use bigger needles, so I used 2.5 instead of 2.25, and I ended up going down a lot of stitches and it ended up way too tight for myself. And basically from here to here I was huffing copium big time. I just kind of was like, oh yeah, it probably will stretch and it will get bigger, and it was just like very unfortunate. And I kind of like just said, okay, I just have to start all over. And that's okay. So I mean, it's what's like nicer to do, like what's the best thing to do? Continue making these like this miserable pair of socks and having socks that are too tight, or just starting all over and having nice socks? So yeah, I'm going to restart these, but the reason as to why I haven't done that already is because in the time that I like stopped this project, I started making a pair of socks for my partner, and some stuff went wrong there as well. But we'll go over that now. Basically, I used like the stock of Opal yarn that I have. So this is Opal's, again 4-ply. This is from their Schafpatte 13 collection, and the color is Übernachtung auf der Heide, and I guess that's like sleeping, like overnight stay at the Heide. I don't know the English word for it, but like some like naturey place. And yeah, basically I think these ones that were too tiny, I think I used 46 stitches for these. Yeah, like 46. Yeah, I used 46 stitches, but with this pair I started off with 60 stitches, and then once I started knitting the leg, once I finished the cuff, I decreased 2 rows twice. Basically, no, for 2 rows I decreased 2 stitches, so I went down from 60 to 56, and I thought that that would be fine for my partner's feet, but they weren't. So but it wasn't. So basically I had already knit up till here, and then I was like, oh gosh, what am I gonna do with this? So I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna try and fit this, like I'm just gonna put it on my own foot. And actually it fit quite well. It's like on the looser side, but not loose enough that it like falls down or feels uncomfortable. And luckily I didn't like start working already on the rest of the foot, because my foot is like a good couple of centimeters shorter, so I can make it to my own size. And even if it was too long, I could have just like ripped back and just like, I don't know, knit the toe anyway. So yeah, this is another pair of socks that I'm now working on for myself. I bought actually 2 balls of yarn, so 200 gram of this yarn, because I wanted to have like matching socks, because I thought that would be cute. So I guess I'm just already starting early with my own, and then I'll do the second pair after this. I think I'm just gonna go up to 62 stitches, and I just won't decrease. Yeah, I just won't decrease. I'll just like, yeah. Yeah, and I think that should be fine then. And then as a result oh no, that's not the right yarn. As a result, like from measuring my foot basically with this sock, I'm pretty sure I'll just go for like 56 on 2.5mm needles for this one, or maybe 54, but definitely not 48. Was way too tight, so I think like 56 would be fine. If like 60 here is already like still fine for me. Yes. So I think the last thing that I want to say is that I haven't forgot about the Lain 52 socks. I was way too optimistic about that. But now that I feel like I'm starting to become like an intermediate sock knitter. So I'm definitely very comfortable when it comes to just making, the basic sock. I'm getting very comfortable with slowly like adding different sock knitting techniques. So I think it's time to start working again on the Lain book. I also saw that the first book has gone down in price, or at least it's way cheaper than the second book. I think I bought the second book, like the 52 Weeks of Socks book, for €30 or 36, like digitally, right? And now the physical one is for the first version series is like €13 I saw. But in any case, I wanted to introduce one piece of yarn that I was planning to use for the socks in that book. It's fingering weight yarn. It's actually from a dye based here in the Netherlands. Yeah, oh wait. Do I have it here? No. Let me just push out the yarn here for a sec. Or push out the label. I just really, so, wait, let me just give the specification first. So, this is from Undercover Otter. The person who owns this store is an indie dyer, and yeah, basically, I think the yarn that is sold there is very beautiful, very nice, bright colors. Although I do have to watch out with those colors. Well, watch out is a big word, but I want to be very intentional when I buy the yarn, because first of all, like, it's hand dyed yarn, so usually it's a bit more expensive, and I'm not really a person who wears like very, I don't know, I don't know how to describe it, but I think I like to be intentional when I buy hand dyed yarn. At least I've been more intentional now since like restarting my knitting journey. So I got one skein of this. I want to use it for a pair of socks from that book, and this is Rift. I think it's in the line of Squirm sock. So this is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon, and the yardage is 400 meters per 100 grams. And I just really loved the color. Basically, I saw this when I was in Japan still, so I ended up buying it in Japan and sending it to my apartment here in the Netherlands. So it was waiting on me when I came back. So it's very exciting to see. I also got another skein of yarn dyed in a different color. I haven't rolled it up yet. It's like in my stash next to my bed. So when the time is right, I'll showcase that one. So yeah, I think this ended up kind of being like a sock heavy episode. I know like knitting socks isn't like the most exciting thing, but I really, really do enjoy it. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say for today's episode. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon in a couple of days. Take care. Bye.